So normally when you're looking for some way to help change your life, you do it to try to do some kind of positive change in your life, right? Because you get a lot of life changes that you have absolutely no control over. So you want to implement some good change into your life. And these 6 ways I've actually found have really helped me change a lot of my beliefs, my ideas, and my perspective on life, and really have helped me be consistent in making that positive change in life. Now, for those people out there who don't know who I am, my name is Marcus. This is Discover Ignite, where we discover possibilities and ignite change. And if you haven't done so already, I would ask you to please consider subscribing to Discover Ignite so you can get more content like this. Also, remember to smash that like button if you do enjoy this video. Now, I just want to get into this list real quick with you guys, and then, I want to go over it quick with you guys, and then go into more detail in it. So the 6 I actually got for you guys is to forgive yourself. The second one being is to change beliefs. The third one being embrace change. The fourth one being accept setbacks. The fifth one being don't fear the unknown. And the sixth one being follow your intuition. Now, the first particular one, forgiving yourself, is one I've made a video on before. In a couple months back, I made a video on this. And I think it's extremely important to forgive yourself, right? Because a lot of times there may be a situation that is really holding us back, right? And we feel like we can't really move forward from that event in life for whatever reason. We identify ourselves as something that happened in that event, or, perhaps there's a relationship that we may have damaged or whatever, and we need to make amends with that, right? We need to perhaps confront the person, whoever it is that we may have had some kind of conflict with, or, just sit with ourselves and mend that whatever those issues are, right? And I think this is extremely important and can help you, once you forgive yourself, you can end up actually moving on from that point. And I think it's extremely beneficial and a good starting point, because a lot of times this is, again, what's going to hold you back from making any kind of progress forward. Now, the second one I have is to challenge beliefs. And the reason I think it's important to challenge beliefs is because a lot of times we don't do this, right? There's a lot of beliefs I never challenge, right? In life, I've never really challenged beliefs. I've grew up a certain way, and a lot of us, this is where we get our beliefs from, and we don't challenge them. We always just allow them to be what they are, and we don't seek out new perspectives and do any kind of critical thinking, right? We kind of just read the headlines and go with what the masses does. And a lot of times, sometimes you just got to unplug from that and allow yourself to think, right? Like, are my beliefs really serving me? And see if they are, right? And again, you gotta continuously educate yourself to help you gain some new perspective, right? Or gain some new knowledge to help you do this. You can do this through either reading books or watching documentaries, or, watching YouTube or watching somebody else, right? Or just talking to somebody. And you can get some new perspective, right? And then this will cause you to challenge beliefs, right? And you should do that often. And see, again, what serves you, what doesn't serve you, and replace those beliefs, right? Beliefs, I think you should have some core beliefs, but I think a good majority of your beliefs should all be able to be changed, right? I think all your beliefs should be able to be changed, but you got some that are a little more set in stone than normal. And that's what's important, right? Is to challenge these. And you find that if you do change a belief, that changes a lot of perspectives and a lot of different opportunities that can open up for you. So I think it's really important to challenge those beliefs. And the third one is to embrace change. Now, embracing change, I think, is extremely important. It's something I learned when I was young, because I moved so much that I really didn't have an option but to embrace the change, right? And I think it's good though, because if you are stuck in one particular way, right, you don't see a lot of change in your life, it can be hard. Even the smallest of change can be extremely hard on you. And some people can, get really emotional during change. And I know I myself used to get really emotional, especially when I was young, right? And change was hard, right? It could be extremely hard to get through, and then you have to adapt to that change, right? Because some people hold on to that change, and then you find that, come later on that you can't get over whatever the change is, and you're stuck in the past and you're completely missing out on what's going on in front of you, or any trying to progress you're trying to gain from that. So again, I think it's extremely important to embrace whatever change you can. Go out and try to change things, right? Even if it's just smallest of things. If you're challenging beliefs, you might actually start changing some other things in your life and be able to embrace that and be okay with that, right? It's change. It's going to feel a little uncomfortable in the beginning, but that's okay. You want it to be a little uncomfortable until it becomes normal, right? And then again, you might challenge more beliefs, and you end up finding out that you implement all these other different changes in your life that really do great beneficial things for you, right? That you would have never thought of before. So I think that, again, that's extremely important. And then the next one I have is to accept setbacks. Now, this is something I've struggled with a lot in my life, but I found that, you know, the quicker you can get over a setback and realize that everybody's going to take a step back, right? The quicker you can do that, the quicker you can get back on track to the things that you want to concentrate on and want to complete in life, right? And I think this is important because a lot of people, you know, they just want to continue to move forward. We all want to continue to move forward, right? But you have to, again, be aware, be mindful that setbacks are a given, right? They're going to happen. And as long as you know that before you go into anything, and not think you're just going to hit everything out of the park the very first time, it's just not going to happen. And I think we all get into that. Even I catch myself even to this day, you know, finding that I feel like I should be a lot further along than I'm not, and I make progress, and then I get that setback, and it's like, oh man, am I not cut out for this? But you just have to continue to push yourself, right? And realize that those setbacks will come, and you'll eventually overcome those setbacks. You'll learn from those setbacks. It's important to keep progressing, right? And not allow yourself to get caught up in the setback and just allow that to wreak havoc in your mind and not allow you to make any progress in life, right? So just be aware that setbacks are there and setbacks will come. Now, the next thing I have is to don't fear the unknown. Now, fear the unknown is more of those things, right? When you're challenging beliefs, when you're looking for new perspectives, there may be some things that you fear that maybe your friends and family may think differently of you if you went down a certain avenue, or perhaps there's something really exciting yet you're really fearful of, right? Maybe it's like public speaking or something like that. And you have to not be so afraid of that, right? I think fear is more like a compass that helps guide you in the direction you really truly want to go, right? And so I think you need to embrace the fear, and then you find that it's easier to embrace fear the more you do it, right? Because when you're initially doing it, you know, your heart's pounding, you're getting all sweaty, you don't know what to do, right? Because you just get so narrow visioned, right, when you face fear. But the more you face fear, the less that happens, right? Yes, you still get those butterflies in your stomach. You still feel like you're gonna faint. There's so many different things, right? But you have to push yourself through. If you find that you can push yourself through fear, that just opens up everything in your realm if you can end up doing that. And I think it's an important thing to help change your life, right? I think this is one of the most important skills on this list that can again change your life, and for the better. Like, this opens up like almost every door you can imagine. So just remember that is to embrace your fear. If you find there's fear there, then just head straight for it and get through it, because, you know, 9 out of 10 times it's just your mind, you know, coming up with all these negative things that are going to happen to you, and none of which are nearly as bad, right? Even if something bad happened, it's not nearly as bad as you make it out to be, right? You can always look at the worst case scenario through, you know, your perspective. And again, I think that's just extremely important, is to don't fear the unknown. Now, the next one I have is to follow your intuition. Now, this is one of the other better ones on the list. I think is extremely important, right? Because a lot of times we try to be so logical about every little thing, that we try to think of every little detail, and a lot of times we get stuck in our plans, right? And we don't just go with whatever the flow is. And I think that's extremely important. That's something I've really been doing more of lately, as opposed to, you know, during my life. During my life, I, you know, try to follow my intuition. And what I did, you know, I felt like at 9 out of 10 times, it was always where I should be, right? I was always my happiest in those times when I followed my intuition. I was always correct, right? In those times when I followed my intuition. And when I tried to think about it logically and went other ways, I wasn't as happy. I was just doing it because it felt like it was, or I thought it would be something that would point me down the right direction, right? And so it's just important to go with your intuition. And a lot of times it won't make sense, right? You follow your intuition and you're like, well, for whatever reason, I feel like I shouldn't really be doing this, or I should be doing this, but X, Y, and Z is telling me this is why I can't do this. And that's the perfect time, right? That's the time we also face that fear, right? Face the unknown and allow that to help you get through that, right? And realize that doing so will help you in life, right? It'll really help open up a lot of opportunities in your life. So all these 6 different ways, they all kind of intermingle, and they help with change, right? They help you adapt to change, accept that positive change in your life and continuously seek it, right? And continuously grow. And as long as you're implementing these 6 different ways, I think you can continuously do that. You're constantly growing, right? And you're finding new ideas, new thoughts, new perspectives, and you kind of open up this new rabbit hole, right? And you start going down that rabbit hole, you find all these different things, and your life starts really changing, and for the better, right? And then you find something else and you go look after that, and it's really just helping you become curious, helping you become adventurous, right? And trying a lot of different new thoughts and ideas and implementing them into your life and seeing what dramatic changes they can really make. Because a lot of the changes, they don't have to be grand old changes. They can be small little tweaks that make big changes in your life, right? And I think this is what's extremely important about this. So if you guys enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button. Until next time, I will see you guys later.